Holly Robinson Peete joins us now, and you just did a show on The Talk about autism. You brought your husband on. Tell us why you did that.
Oh, Betty, it was a dream come true for me. When we got our diagnosis, my husband and I were not on the same page. He was in denial, not his boy, it's not happening, and I was sort of on, kick your butt avenue. He was on Denial Street, and I was on kick your, so we were on different pages, and one of the things that really would have helped is if we were able to talk about it more, and if he were able to have a conversation with other dads and talk about what they're going through. And I urged him and begged him and pleaded him back then, and he wouldn't do it because he was scared, and there really wasn't a place to go. So to be on The Talk and be able to have a daddy roundtable about autism with Joe Montana and a dad from Louisiana, Jimmy Smith, it was a dream come true. And I hope it encourages other dads, autism dads, to have conversations because it will really help.
We should let people know that, of course, your husband is a former NFL quarterback, Rodney Peete. And when you talk about him being scared, imagine what other people go through when they get this diagnosis.
Well, that's exactly why I wanted him to talk about it. He wrote a great book called Not My Boy, and it's a journey with autism from a dad's perspective, because I thought, okay, he's a big macho football player guy. If he had to go through all this, what are other dads going through? And I thought it would be a really relatable topic. But, mom or dad, family, sibling, autism is a difficult diagnosis for an entire family, and it's important for us to advocate for other families affected by autism, especially as they try to access service and treatment.
Now, you had the diagnosis for your son when he was 3. He's now a teenager. In that 10, 11 years, how has your family been impacted by it?
Oh, wow. I mean, we have a family approach to this autism journey, and everybody's on board, including the 6 and the 8-year-old, the little guys. RJ's twin sister wrote a book called My Brother Charlie, talking about autism awareness to 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, and just trying to get more awareness at an early age and inclusion in mainstream schools. We're all on board in this fight, and it's about our son, but it's also about other people's kids. And the most important thing is the financial strain that these families go through. I mean, families in America should not be choosing between their rent and services for their kid. That shouldn't be. So one of the ways that we're actually helping to raise money for the Hollywood Foundation and for families affected by autism is by selling these really beautiful amethyst bracelets. And you can get your amethyst bracelet by going on opensky.com and following me, and the money goes to help families affected by autism access treatment to services.
You raised money for autism when you were on Celebrity Apprentice, the 3rd season last year. Didn't they say that you raised more money for one single event than anyone else who's ever been on Celebrity Apprentice?
I did until my girlfriend Marlee Matlin shattered my record. Just trampled all over it. We laugh about it. I couldn't think of a more amazing person to do that. But yes, I raised $600 grand for the Hollywood Foundation, and all that money went to helping families access treatment, and it also went to give them iPads. A lot of nonverbal children with autism, it's giving them a voice to communicate. So that money went to amazing things, and we're hoping that with these bracelets on opensky.com we can raise more money for these families.
Tell us, how is RJ doing, your son?
Thanks for asking. RJ is doing great, but he's 13, and kids on the spectrum, when they become teenagers, really have a difficult time assimilating hormones, so he is having a little bit of regression. Teenagers on the spectrum have even harder challenges than regular neurotypical teens. So we're watching him as he transitions into middle school. It's a little bit difficult, but let me tell you, he's doing so much more than they said he would ever do. We just feel so blessed.
And people need to understand how widespread autism is. Tell us about that.
Oh, it's off the charts. It's exponentially jumped 600% in 2 decades. So every 15, 20 minutes, another child is being diagnosed. So while we need to figure out what's going on, we also have to be very cognizant of what families have to deal with on a day-to-day basis in this journey. But it affects more children than AIDS, juvenile diabetes, and cancer combined, yet receives just a fraction of the NIH funding. So we're out here to have this conversation, and if there's someone in your community that you know that has autism, reach out to them, include them, and help them.
That's right. And just so people know, what is it, 1 in 70 boys is diagnosed with autism?
Yeah. And Betty, I think those numbers are going to get worse very, very soon. I think the CDC is going to come out with new numbers that's going to make it closer to 1 in 58. it's a real issue, and it's a national problem that we all need to get involved in.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Holly Robinson Peete.